Alright, War Gamers, next we're going to do Thousand Suns. I've had the models, but only as a trade-in, and I ended up selling them pretty much right away. This was back in 5th edition. They are Space Marine killing bolters, which is nice. They are extremely expensive. There's only one other group that's more expensive than them, and those are Plague Marines, but I definitely see the value in them. They have an invulnerable save, they have a bolt gun that's AP 3, I believe. Yeah, they have AP 3 regular shot bolters, which is nice, but again, extremely expensive. I wouldn't take them because of the volume of dice, kind of like what Fritz on YouTube says. The amount of dice would just obliterate these guys, and that's a lot of points. Next you got Plague Marines. They're amazing. I like them a lot, but they are very expensive. It's almost, I mean, they're Space Marines with a mark of Nergal, so they're toughness 5. They have a 4-up poison attack on any close combat, and they have feel no pain. Oh, and they also have defensive grenades, so that -1 for charging. Pretty helpful, but they're expensive. I think it comes out to like 200 and something points for the way you have to kit them out, like 10 of them with the Meltas and the not the HQ, but the Sergeant and all that. They're pretty damn expensive, but they're pretty good, especially if you're playing Tyranids. A 4-up close combat against monstrous creatures is well worth it. The two that I really like is, number 1 is Plague, because I had an Nergal army, and probably close 2 would be Khorne, which I only had a little bit of experience with, but just a ton of dice in close combat. And their initiative is usually, you know, it's 4 for Space Marine. Usually higher than any kind of Xenos. Next we got Noise Marines. I've never used Noise Marines, nor have I ever had those models. But just strictly based on the reading, they seem pretty interesting. They have a really good gun. 47. Have a really good gun. They're initiative 5, which means that they're going to be attacking first, even with, you know, other Space Marines out there. Noise Marines they're okay. I mean, I haven't used them. I haven't modeled them. I've only seen them once in a while. It's one of those rare things. It would be good to actually kit out an army with those. You'd probably freak a lot of people out because they don't even know what they do. Most people overlook them. And then the last of the elites is, well, it's a different department, but Dedicated Transport Chaos Rhino. A lot of people have looked down or spit on the Rhinos in 6th edition with hull points. Hey, bottom line is they get you where you need to go. I mean, they're armor 11, so they can't just be shot up with regular bolter fire unless you hit them on the rear. So you at least got that going. I mean, like the Orc truck is 10, so that means even regular Space Marines can just bolter it to death. This, you got some, and it does come with a weapon, Combi Bolter, which I think in the last battle report against the Khorne Chaos Space Marines, we got that wrong. It does come with a weapon as stock, and it holds 10. So on to the fast attacks. Bikers. This is the only army I could think of out of all 40k that I would actually consider bikers. I had 6 Nergal bikers, which added +1, so you had 6 toughness. You had toughness 6 bikers with a Jink, a 3-up save, and either 2 Meltas or 2 Plasmas running around the board. You had monstrous creatures with Jink and 3-up armor riding around the board. Well worth the points. It comes with 3 bikers at 70 points. You can add each biker after that is 20 points, so 60 plus 70 is 130 points, and 6 times 6 is 36. So like 150-ish, 165, 170 points. You can run 6 of these, 2 Meltas, or I like Meltas, with Nergal, and they're monstrous creatures running around with Jink. Those things are awesome. Love Chaos Bikers. Even with mini wargaming, Dave's even included a lot of biker groups into his recent battle reports. The next is the Chaos Spawn. I've had the model, never used them. It's mainly a stat line that if in case you turn into a spawn on the boon table. Whenever you can either buy one at the beginning of the game, or if a Chaos Champion kills another Sergeant or whatever in a duel, you get to roll on a boon table. And it's a huge amount of things that can happen, ranging from pretty much nothing to +1 toughness, +1 attack, to turning into a spawn, which eliminates the character altogether, which is bad, actually. Or you can turn into a Demon Prince and have a 20-something point Sergeant Chaos Space Marine turn into a 200 plus or 180 plus point Demon Prince, which would be nice. Rare, but nice. And back to fast attack, Raptors and Warp Talons. They come in the same box. They're 2 different variants. Warp Talons are 2 Thunder Claws. They're close combat. Raptors are shooty. Talons are close combat. They come with Lightning Claws. The Warp Talons come with Lightning Claws, which is run nice. They're just extremely expensive. All I see them running is with Khorne, to where you get +1 close combat. That's the only reason. So they get 1 attack, 2 on the charge, so 3, then 4 for having 2 close combat weapons, and you get to reroll because they're Lightning Claws. It's pretty effective, but 160 points for 5 of them. And then you throw Khorne, so you're looking at 185 points for 5 guys. 5 guys. That's a lot. And they're 3+ normal save. They can get templated if you try to deep strike them. I've used them before. Only once have they actually worked. Other than that, just a waste of points. Great looking model though. Back to Raptors. This is the variant that I would normally use, mainly because Meltas are extremely important, speed is extremely important, and shooting is extremely important. So you'll have these guys either deep strike in and shoot their 2 Meltas at something and pop a tank. Generally that tank is the only thing that's going to be able to kill you if you deep strike near them. So if you actually blow them up, you're going to kind of create a havoc in their backfield, and they even hang out and get that line breaker rule. With the Raptors, I would go, again, I'd probably go with Nergal. Love Nergal. +1, so they'd be toughness 5, deep striking in with Meltas and close combats, which is nice. Maybe even Zinch. +1 to the invulnerable. They're not demons, but they cause fear. It would be nice if they had a demon save and then you got a 4-up invul. That would have been nice, but oh well. Back to fast attack. Helldrake. A lot of people say it's broken. Almost an auto include with any Chaos Space Marine army. The model is okay, but definitely open to conversions. It comes with a Bale Flamer. I would use that more than anything else. It ignores cover, and I believe it's strength 7. strength 6 AP3 Soul Blaze Torrent, so you can throw the template 12 inches out, so you have an 18-inch range with your flame template. That's pretty awesome. And he's a flyer, hits is on 6. Front armor is 12, which most flyers aren't that high, and 3 hull points. So I don't take flyers too much because I still think it's relatively early and cheesy for flyers. And then when someone gets Skyfire, it's easy to take them down. So there's really, it's an all or nothing whether the person has Skyfire or not. If you have Skyfire or an Agent's Defense line, he's pretty much SOL. If they don't, then he's just going to own the board. That's sad that there's units like that where it's an all or nothing thing. But now we're on to heavy support. Havocs. You're pretty much your standard heavy Chaos Space Marine troop. Not a troop, but they're heavy. This is the group that gets the missile launchers, the las cannons, the las cannons, the heavy weapon team. They can also get Skyfire, which was the first group, I believe, that can actually get Skyfire before all the new codexes come out. Where we play, generally you can add, it says add, I believe, Skyfire for like 5 points. Yeah, you can add flak missiles for 10 points a model. We use that universally across all Space Marines. There's no reason that Chaos could have it, but Ultramarines can't. That's just stupid. They're all Marines with all the same technology. So in our own little clique, it was a house rule that anybody could have flak missiles. And then Obliterators. I like the Obliterators. Don't like the Mutilators, like the Obliterators. Again, Nergal. It's actually pretty expensive, 6 points for Nergal. So you have a toughness 5, heavy weapon platform, 2-up save, and you get to choose what type of heavy weapon you want. But per model is 70 points. That's a lot. So I would do groups of maybe 2 or 3 of these. That's a lot of points, but just keep them far away. You can get them in close combat. They're really strong. They have power fists, I believe. They do have a demon. If you want to keep them far in the backfield, I would give maybe Zinch. So you have +1 to the invul, so you'll have a 2-up armor, 4-up invul, long distance heavy weapons. Pretty good unit. A Defiler. It's always a fun unit. 200. I don't see at all ever doing any upgrades besides 195 points. 200 points. Battle Cannon's the only thing you care about. It's good in close combat, but you'd never get there. Who cares what else it has? Upgrading a Havoc launcher, Twin Link las cannon, heavy bolter, none of those matter because your battle cannons is what you're going to be shooting at. Reaper auto cannon's good because it's twin link, but you're going to need 6s if you shoot the cannon. So just leave it bare bones. One of the only walkers at this point that has 4 hull points even though its front armor is 12. And it has an automatic invul of 5+ with being a demon. And then on top of that, it even has It Will Not Die. At the end of the turn, you get to roll to see if you get a hull point back. It's pretty impressive. Again, sitting behind cover, far in the backfield, because his range for his battle cannon is 72. So, it's big blast. AP2, 3, AP3. So, ordnance. That's all you're paying your points for. Is a strong platform that shoots a battle cannon. Forge Fiend, Mauler Fiend. Come in the same kit. One's a shooty, one's a close combat. Forge Fiend was the guy in the last Chaos Space Marine and Orc battle report. He had a Forge Fiend that was shooting 8 dice. It was pretty effective. Very strong. Personally, I like the Mauler Fiend better. It's got move through cover, it will not die, fleet, demon, siege crawler. So it's a Dreadnought that can move 12 inches. One of the biggest complaints about a Dreadnought is that it moves too close to get into close combat. This guy can move 12, assault 12, it's got fleet, so re-roll, move through cover, has it will not die, so you get your whole points back, and it comes stuck with 2 Magna Cutters. I would leave the Magna Cutters. So I believe it's, and I have to check, but if you hit successfully with 1, you get 1 additional AP, or Strength 8 AP 2 Magna Cutters. If you hit it with at least 1 attack, make an additional attack with its Magna Cutters against models that hit. If they hit with all attacks, instead you make 2 additional attacks with Magna Cutters against one of the models that hit. These automatically resolved at initiative 1 with the following profile: Strength 8, AP 1, Armor Bane. So the Mauler Fiend attacks with 3 on the charge. Many times I've had it actually hit with all 3. So you get 2 additional attacks per Magna Cutter. It comes standard with 2. So you get 4 additional hits, Strength 8, AP 1, Armor Bane. Instant death opportunities, killing tanks. Well, you're already going to kill tanks. You got 2 Power Fists, I believe. You got 2 Power Fists at Strength 10. This is just going to move through everything. So you get, what, 4 attacks on the charge. Potential for at least 2 additional hits. So you have 6. 4 Strength 10 and 2 Strength 8 AP 1s. I wouldn't upgrade with the Lasher. I would just leave it. I mean, 125 points, that's cheap for what it does. Super cheap. Especially in smaller games, it's very difficult to take down. Next is the Chaos Land Raider. Only comes with the Twin Link las cannons on the side. It's 230 points, still pretty pricey for a Land Raider, but 14 all around, 4 whole points, pretty good. You can upgrade it with, I forgot what it's called, but to where they can't do Overwatch on you. That is extremely helpful, and it's an assault vehicle still. So you can have your Terminators dock out of this. They can't do an Overwatch, Tau, and you can just bear into them and just go crazy. I wouldn't do a regular Space Marine Land Raider. I would do a Chaos Space Marine Land Raider. Las cannons are always helpful, and Twin Link Heavy Bolter is good for crowd control. Then you get the Chaos Vindicator. Love this. I would just run it just how it is, 120 points. Maybe add the Soul Blaze special rule to it, so you can continue hitting those groups. But when I had my Nergal army, I had 2 of these. Just because Strength 10, AP, what is it, 1 or 2? Large blasts are always extremely helpful. Even though it's a 24-inch range, just stay in cover and let whoever it is come at you. Or just stay out of line of sight until maybe round 2 when they get in range, and then pop out and start blowing up with templates. Last one is a Predator. Still extremely useful in the Space Marine world. You can kit this out multiple ways. Against any kind of Horde army, you're looking at autocannon, side heavy bolters. You're looking at a strong elite. You're looking at, you can have up to what, 1 Twin Link las cannon and side las cannons for 140 points, which is still pretty cheap for anti-anything on the board. So that's Chaos Space Marines. They're an extremely strong army. I love the Nergal aspect because everybody's tougher and harder to kill. The main units I love are Typhus with Cultus. He's extremely strong. and you just gave him 20 extra wounds with a 2-up, you know, lookout sir. That's very strong. And his demon weapon and everything is extremely strong. Good against Tyranids. The Flyer is extremely strong. Terminators are still very strong. And Mauler Fiend was probably one of my favorites in this book. Granted, it only worked maybe 75% of the time, but with any kind of walker, that's more than what you can ask for. So this is what my Chaos Space Marines. We're gonna probably move to Space Wolves. Please remember to subscribe, like it if you like videos like this. If there's any other armies that you want me to go into, I have a number of different codexes here. I have a lot of experience with a lot of different armies. And yeah, so until next time, happy wargaming.